But what about Harper's thousands of cousins? And what about Nietzschean prides? Stop trying to expand your ideas, you'll break your leg.
Blind and crippled. If Andromeda were my child, I'd drown it.
Well, you know, any excuse. Oh, okay, here's a new one.
Or a half-blind, half-crippled warship.
Sequels just never hit you the same, do they? Tyr remains my favourite thing about the show, but if they continue down the road that they're going, it's gonna get rocky.
Because you're just so uncompromisingly inferior!
Do you remember when I said last season that maybe they should have actually done something with the character, like made him more human and learn to work as a team? Well, they do that, but completely fail. This again is my fault. I should have explained what I meant more clearly. Give him reasons to work with a team, and have the story propel his evolution as a character. Early on I thought they actually had it. During the wind down of the opening, Tyr confesses to Hunt that he now has a reason to stick around and help. This is fine, it's within character and brings him a step closer to the group. It raises the question of why he was sticking around before though.
At first. At the very first. I thought there might be a way to take it from you.
Oh, okay, but you had over a year to steal the ship from him, murder the crew as they slept and use Hunt's override codes on Romy. It would have been very, very easy. Hell, twice at least you were left alone with only Becca between you and the ship. But I suppose you love Becca now. Maybe. Last season had a single flirt with a coupling, this one has several. I'll come back to this at the end. Shortly after mentioning this desire to use Andromeda to protect himself, he makes a sacrifice play to save the Magog-infested Harper and Rev. He makes a list of fairly compelling reasons not to bother and just take the one remaining suit from himself.
What would you have, creature? Would it please you that I sacrifice myself for the likes of him?
It's not going to happen!
He's got Magog larva in his guts. He's dying. Suffering. If I put him out of his misery now, there'll be nothing to decide.
And then flips back on that. The episode wraps up with this.
Look, I was talking to Rev, and he told me...
He no doubt regaled you with touching tales of noble self-sacrifice. Be assured, it will never happen again.
After this, he'll occasionally decide to do the right and or honourable thing, read stupid and or stupid. The other characters comment on this, and he tells them that he doesn't know why he's doing it, which is really unsatisfying. You're changing the character, yes, but detached from any kind of story, it feels faked and rings hollow. And of course, being Andromeda, the character takes a huge regressive turn in episode 21. Before I talk about that though, I have to cover what we've learned about the Nietzscheans this time. Genetic reincarnation. Oh god, did they really like this actor that much? Genetic reincarnation. The exact same set of genes coming together a second time to create a different person with different parents. Or even the same parents. Is technically possible, but it's several thousand times less likely than winning the lottery every day for a year. But they tell us that because the Nietzscheans have a shallower gene pool that it's a bit more likely, but still virtually impossible. This all ties into the Nietzscheans' belief that the founder of their race, Drago will one day be genetically reincarnated and reunite the tribes. There needs to be a word superlatively or more superlative than stupidest to describe this. Let me unpack. 1. The Nietzscheans run around saying God is dead, which on its own is a stupid, meaningless phrase, but from that we can infer that they're not a fan of conventional religions. Why would they bother creating their own? 2. At this point we're several hundred generations removed from Drago. Wouldn't his genes be considered inferior? In fact, wouldn't he be human? I was to understand that Nietzscheans were a branch of humanity that chose to build a culture around genetics and selective breeding. They wouldn't have started with the arm spikes, would they? Or would they? Who knows? Okay, I don't have a 3. I managed to be more succinct with this stupid than I thought, but Andromeda isn't done yet. Throughout the season they keep mentioning the genetic reincarnation and the fact that Drago is expected to come back. Tyr's wife and baby turn up in episode 21. I was shocked to learn that his wife was actually the woman he impregnated and abandoned in the last season. Not because that's a shitty thing to do, but because I didn't realise that they were married. And hell, that's like real, intended continuity. They even got the same actress. That's more rare in this show than genetic reincarnation, which has happened twice now. This guy, really, he was that good, huh? Naturally, Tyr's son is the genetic reincarnation of Persephone, because of course he is. What other option did the son of the main character have? Tyr uses Hunt and some other faction that I don't want to get into right now to wipe out the pride that is holding his wife and son captive. The wife dies and we get this.
You don't seem too happy to be back, dear.
I was a husband and a father. Now I'm neither. Before she died, the matriarch handed me my son. And for the first time, I held in my arms this huge little life. Mine. And you would have but one goal then, right? To reach the slip fighter. I was fired on as I ran, but I made it. We reached the slip fighter and escaped. The little one never cried. All through the melee, he was silent, and I can remember thinking, how very valiant is dear Anasasi's son.
Which is a great bit of acting from Tyr there. Of course, it's then immediately revealed that the baby is alive and well with Grandma hiding in the woods somewhere, gutting any emotional resonance that could have had.
There's another moment of weakness. Sorry sack of mediocrity.
I'll keep my eye on this story. I'm sure his son from the future will pop out of a black hole or something. Oh, or maybe because he's special, he'll age faster or something. Superior genes. Or no, wait, they use a black hole to build an age progression machine and accidentally turns Harper into the Dragon with 70, and then they age him and Tyr gets emotional and it's fixed off screen in between episodes. Yeah, like my deck. This season starts off really well for Rev too. After having his faith challenged and breaking his no sentience diet during the season opener, they try and build up his character. They even give us his real name.
My name is Red Plague.
Do they all have names like that? And why Red? The bug lady from the very first episode was Fluorescent Green Blood. Does Rev have a cousin called Fluorescent Green Plague? He now knows, or has at least been led to believe, that the Magog were created specifically to bring chaos and destruction to the universe. In episode 2, we learn he's been fasting to try and cleanse himself, and Becca tries to take his mind off how hungry he is.
I hate planets. The dirt, the unregulated temperatures, and the water, which I also hate, unless it comes in bottles. Water turns into snow and ice, which I also hate. Like I hate pretty much every kind of weather.
Jeez, Becca, you're making me want to eat you. And we also learn that the Magog have to kill what they eat. This, the episode after we see Rev scoffing down a bit of another Magog to maintain cover. And get this, if they're starving, they digest themselves, starting with vital organs. Intelligently designed. I think that's never explicitly said, it's just implied. I could be wrong. But regardless, it's still absurd.
Behold the fiery beast with razor tail that cuts through mountains, trampling castles down. Hear the stench that makes the whole world wail. But which of us is the beast?
This relevance peters out over the next few episodes, and then, following 2 episodes where he didn't show up at all, we get this.
Since my time on the Magog world ship, I've felt lost, confused. I don't have answers, but it's time I started asking the questions wherever they might lead.
The actor became allergic to the makeup. No offense to Brent Strait or anything, he was doing a fine job, but Rev is not the sort of character you can only imagine one actor playing. And Rev would be the easiest cast member to replace, because of the heavy makeup. Why didn't they just replace the actor? Or replace the makeup, considering how often they've already changed that. Fair enough if you wanted to abandon ship though, I understand.
My expertise runs more along the lines of making things explode. Rev Ben was a theoretical physicist.
What? Theoretical physicist? Harper invented time travel twice already. Rev dished out advice. Why do you need a theoretical physicist on a warship anyway? The more you know, the less sense it makes. And random. Season 2 sees the introduction of a new recurring character that I feel I should talk about. From the clips I've used, you've probably caught a glimpse already. This cave set. It's in what feels like every episode, though in reality it's probably less than half. It is in nearly every episode in which they land on a planet though. Probably because their outside shots look like they were filmed in a local city park. They like to make sure they get inside as quickly as possible. Not inside to a fancy government building, or inside to a high-tech lab, or inside to a reasonably priced bar and grill. No, none of that. inside to this cave system. You tried your very best. You know, stuff like this doesn't paint the Commonwealth in the best of lights. Oh no, wait, yeah, fucking Captain Hunt. I guess I should talk about the main character. Nothing much has changed from this season, although like I said, the quest to rebuild the Commonwealth feels more relevant. At least it does whenever they decide to bring it up. This season has a clip show, the catalyst for which is Hunt being sucked towards a black hole. Black holes are like this show's spirit animal. If you're ever stuck right in a black hole.
Tell me about it. I'm the one who spent 300 years behind an event horizon.
What the fuck? No. No, you didn't, you fucking idiot. Hunt in his spaceship is being sucked very slowly towards spaghettification, and is also trapped in an alternate reality. One in which he has a son and a wife, like all men should. It's completely unfair to compare this to the Normal Again episode of Buffy, but life ain't fair, kid. Normal Again gives you a glimpse into a very possible reality that Buffy is genuinely in a mental hospital somewhere, torturing herself by denying every reality. And it turns to you, the audience, questioning why you're so desperate for the fantasy too. This shit falls completely flat. In part because this new timeline doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. In it, his whole crew are killed except for him somehow, and he's married to a different woman. Which is odd because the actress who plays Sarah is in fact Kevin Sorbo's real life wife. In Hallucination World, he's all fucked up, having flashes of quote-unquote reality. These are our clips. His wife tells him that this is happening because he was dead for 10 minutes, or that he was too close to the black hole, or that he has PTSD, whatever sticks. This episode gains some relevance by alluding to the wife being an incarnation of the Abyss, causing the hallucination. Checking in with her big bad, I guess. I think Hunt just had a bad dream, in which he had a bad dream about all the nasty things Tira's ever said to him.
You're an anachronism.
Yes, so Sarah, Hunt's dead wife, is Kevin Sorbo's real-life wife, presumably alive. When she turned up again, I was initially annoyed, but after thinking about it for a bit, I don't really mind that she takes a couple of minutes out of her day to send messages into the future. Messages specifically designed to prevent her dead husband from moving on. It means that she's a vicious creature, but that's a character, I guess. She introduces probably the most successful episode of the season. Not my favourite maybe, there's a distinct lack of zombies, but it's actually focusing on the Commonwealth and it has an interesting enough conflict. I won't go into too much detail, just enough to poke another hole in things. Basically there's a planet that held on to the Commonwealth ideals and social structure and things. The citizens have mostly become afraid of the outside world and there's a dirty political move. The snag comes from the fact that they have all these people loyal to the Commonwealth, and yet Andromeda's crew remains just the main cast and these faceless robots they sometimes remember to get extras for. Why didn't they recruit more people for the mission? They didn't have to abduct them, they could have opened up a volunteering system. I bring this up because the show brings this up. Romy complains that she misses having a full crew, and Hunt misses the efficiency of a fully manned ship. Of course, a full crew is roughly 4,000, which makes me wonder how exactly 6 people manage it at all.
That's number one.
Anyway, Hunt resolves to move on. The very next episode we learned that last season, he slept with this Nietzschean princess. 5 episodes later we get this.
I have something for you.
Yes, I know you do.
And he kisses this lady who was only just relevant to that week's plot. I think he's fairly far down the road of moving on. Actually, both of those last 2 I thought were being built up as new characters, and yet they were never seen again. I think now is as good a time as any to let you know that Kevin Sorbo became an executive producer this season. My main point of reference for actors having ideas above their station is Charmed, and that didn't work out well for anyone. I look forward to the endless carousal of ego-stroking plotlines. Well, more ego-stroking than what was already present.
And I am your messiah.
But knowing you'll be back someday to make things right.
But my ways are not your ways. And if what I say differs from sacred scripture, then what I say is the truth.
How do we get people to stop believing in a myth they've believed in for centuries?
By getting them to believe in that other myth.
What's that?
The one about the High Guard captain flying around the universe.
So, are we finished playing What Would Dylan Do?
Dylan, Christ. It just doesn't have the same ring to it.